He's pretty cute.
Here we are heading out to the woods of the Central Cascades of Washington to service the thermal recording units, long-term duration thermal cameras that we have recording. And it's dusk, sun's just set, we're on our way, and we'll probably be arriving at the camp in the dark. But it's going to be a great weekend. We're going to have a lot of hiking we're going to do, exploring, looking for tracks, looking for any kind of evidence we can get. We're heading back to service the Trues thermal recording units, and we've had flooding from outrageously high amounts of rain here in western Washington, and high winds that took a whole bunch of trees out and pushed them over. A lot of them fell on the roads, so the roads are all blocked. We're on the stretch of road here where it's been cleared, fortunately. But we're going to probably have to do a whole bunch of hiking and hauling to get back to where the Trues are to swap out the cameras and the SD cards. Crazy weather, crazy times. Okay, we made it to camp in the dark, as you can see, and just wanted to show you my setup. This is my vehicle, Suzuki Vitara. It's an old woods beater. I don't have to worry about scratching it. There it is. And this is my sleeping setup. Everybody says, how do you sleep in that Vitara? Well, the only seat that's not turned down is the driver's seat. Everything's flat. And there's my setup. Got my sleeping pad under here. Inflatable sleeping pad. Pillow. 2 sleeping bags. And I can stretch out, lay it out. My whole 6'1" height stretches out no problem. Don't have to curl up at all. So now you don't have to worry about me being uncomfortable, because I actually am quite comfortable. And then you're inside the vehicle, shelters you from the rain, and makes it a little more comfortable than a tent in terms of things dropping on you or animals messing with you. Okay, here's Nathan in his vehicle. Honda Ridgeline, right?
Yep. Does the trick.
I'm gonna go set up the fire pit now.
What's already set up?
But as you can see, there's snow. There's still snow as high as we are.
We're at about 2,500 feet, 2,400 feet, something like that.
Oh wow, the snow line's that low. I didn't realize it was that low.
What was that? Yeah, it's about 24.
I don't know what's going on over here, but I guess Nathan put up a wall.
Heat reflector wall.
To reflect the heat. Somebody left this countertop. It looks like it's Formica countertop. And we're using it next to the fire. Can he light it?
I think so.
Can Nathan light the Duraflame?
I am a little challenged. Depending on who
Whoa!
you ask.
That's like a torch coming out of there.
Yeah, and look, it's bendy.
That's cool.
It's all snaky.
Hold on.
Yeah. I can light fires sideways.
All right, looks like it's gonna burn. Okay, this is Geralt. He's camping with Nathan and I tonight, this weekend, and he's putting up a tent. Nathan and I are sleeping in our vehicles. Geralt's gonna be in a tent. So,
Yeah, I'm the bait.
and you're the one who's a little bit more bolder than the other two.
Gerald, how do you think you got in on this gig?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the bait.
Yeah, that's why we invited him. He figured it out. He's the bait. But he accepts the role. He accepts the responsibility. So,
Yeah, that's a big responsibility being bait.
all right. We've introduced Gerald. You'll even get to see his face someday. Not just his headlamp. Okay. Here's a look at my audio recorder that's running for the night. It's on top of my vehicle. Now we got the audio pointing to the west toward the creek. And hopefully a Sasquatch will vocalize from over there or close by or do wood knocks or something. All right, update on the camping situation. We got Nathan here. He's put up his tent.
Yep. Got my stuff all set up. You can see my humble abode if you'd like.
So I'm the only one sleeping in the vehicle, so now
I
I've
also
got
get to be bait.
Gerald and Nathan both for bait.
Yeah, we got double bait tonight.
Double bait.
You can see I created a Mylar sleeping mummy capsule around with my pad in the bottom and my bag in the middle. And I use this when it's winter camping and it's cold and I want to reflect my heat back at my body.
Well, good morning. Here's our camp. Seemed pretty quiet last night.
I know, it's piping.
Here's the snow on the ground up here. What do we call this camp?
Wraparound camp.
Wraparound camp. The sun coming up to the east over there, right over Gerald. This is Nathan drinking coffee that Gerald made for us. You can see Gerald in the daylight now. There he is. He's hanging out with us.
And
We're
enjoying my coffee.
honored to have him along.
You guys are gonna fall down on that puddle.
There's a good chance.
We keep slipping on this ice here.
Kind of fun though.
But we can blame Gerald. He set up his kitchen right next to the slippery area, so we'll hold him liable. No, we're not going to do that. Okay, well, the plan today is after we get warmed up and coffeeed up is to go exploring and hiking.
Found a cool road down below the camp here. And we're going to go skirt that for a little while and see what that's like and see if we find anything interesting. There's some benches up on top that wrap up the side of the mountain here, and the roads kind of makes it accessible, so we're going to check it out. It's going to be a good time.
Your tracks all over the place.
I heard deer last. Oh, These are fresh enough. These might be from this morning.
I heard something last night.
Yes, thank you.
Over this direction, I heard something.
Yeah, there's fresh tracks right here.
Yeah,
Look at that right
yeah,
there.
they are.
Yeah, this is brand new right in here. That's that little buck that's been coming in.
Looks like a pretty small deer there.
Yeah.
Brand new tracks. Right, we're leaving camp. We're heading on a hike, exploratory trip. Didn't know this area. We haven't spent a lot of time here, but from studying terrain maps, has a lot of features that we believe the Sasquatches prefer, and so we think they're going to be in this area. We're going to get to know it and look for evidence while we're out there.
So like right here, this is this sun coming in. This is mostly a south-facing slope where it wraps around. We're going to go. This is an old closed road, and it's considered a good wintering zone because of that south-facing slope, and we're right about 2,000 feet. So this is where elk and deer are going to be, trying to stay warm, feed, pick on the fresh knobs of new growth and throughout the winter. And so this is exactly where we'd expect animals to be. And if those animals are around, the Sasquatches might be around.
Just like right behind you.
Yeah.
The sun hitting that hill. It's winter, and that's where the animals will be to get warm.
It's very important, too, for thawing things out enough that stuff starts to bud up even over the winter here in Washington State. Many plants will produce buds on the ends of their branches all throughout the winter, and the more sun they get, the more growth they get. So that's an opportunity for a little bit more masting food anywhere they go. So, like, for instance, like, look at these trees right here. These trees all have fairly new little knobs. They lost their leaves in the fall, so I bring this in close for a view.
New leaf buds.
And they got little growth buds. The deer are eating those. And on these south-facing slopes, with all the extra sun, you're going to get the most growth, therefore the most fresh things to eat. So that's why we're checking this area out. I even like this little camp.
It looked like, almost looked like maple or oak leaves.
Yeah, so
That's kind of dried out.
Yeah, so this is called lungwort lichen. It likes to be near old growth forest. This stuff's a little pale because it's actually sun bleached. But here's the actual color. Part's not been in the sun so much. It's called lungwort lichen because it kind of reminds you of a lung texture, and it grows in these large panning leaves. It likes being in old growth forest canopies or underneath them because they get a lot of moisture, and they live by sucking up pollen and bacteria and moisture. And in Africa, gorillas actually eat many species of lichen in the wintertime. And so here in North America, it's a possibility that Sasquatch could as well. But deer and elk, specifically older deer and elk that stay high to avoid hunting pressure, they will really key in on this stuff. Lungwort lichen specifically has an extremely high protein blend to it compared to other lichens and other fungi and stuff. Estimated around 70 grams of protein per dry pound of this material, which is actually pretty good for a plant. And so this is really something that animals, ungulates at least, key in on in the winter.
So we could eat it.
I mean, I've seen...
Like chewing on a piece of paper. I just tried some.
Yeah,
You tried some? Well, let's see it. There you go. That's what we wanted.
It's like chewing on a piece of paper.
Okay.
only because it's dry.
But if you are desperate,
Oh yeah. But the deer, specifically old bucks, really like this stuff. You get on the edge of an old clear cut in an old growth stand where this stuff's blowing down, you're in a good spot for where some of those older deer will be holding up in the winter.
We have thermal video of a deer walking down a forest road, and one of those plotches had fallen, and it stopped and picked up the whole thing and started munching and then walked on.
It's one of the reasons that blacktail actually will specifically come out either in the tail end of a rainy or windy weather event, or right after. And it's because this stuff gets blown
They're looking
down.
for that.
And there's places that they can go and feed pretty easily with minimal invested calories to find food. So really important stuff right here. People overlook it, but knowing the environment and why things are doing what they're doing and where they're doing it, it's keying in on knowing the biology and the ecology of the area. It's very important. So, but this is a good sign going into this area. You got south-facing slope, some sun, and plenty of food. So good spot. Let's check out the rest of this area.
And here we go.
So something really interesting about a spot like this is you see we're on a series of benches that go up here. We're getting that south-facing slope. We've already found prolific elk sign and deer sign. But down right below here, so we have another little knob or bench right near this road here. And there's rubs along the road coming up this way, elk rubs. As you can see down there, the water kind of pools. I don't know if you can see it reflecting down there, but there's a stream funneling off here. And it pools up, splits, and rolls off one side and also flows down potentially the other side there. But you got a nice wide area where the water's kind of building up. This is where elk will drink, feed, bed a little bit off the edge to get away from the creek noise. But the elk like these benches because what can happen is they can hit one bench for 2-3 days or a week at a time and feed and kind of strip that area out, eat all the, browse it down, and then move up to the next bench and repeat this cycle up, up, and up, and up into the summer where they end up in the high country. But they do circuit up and down. So the elk will run big circuits up along water areas where there's marshes and benches. That's why elk love benches, and they're security points. But they do these circuits to hit different resources and not overbrowse an area. And it's quite possible, because Sasquatch reports correlate very well with elk and salmon pathways, that they are running some sort of a circuit. Elk will disappear from an area for 1 to 2 weeks and then end up right back. And that's when, 2 or 3 weeks later, the resources have come back. There's more lichen on the ground, there's new buds, new shoots, new leaves, new funguses, new potentially browse. And so they'll hit it in circuits rather than just strip it all out.
So it's probable that the Bigfoots are doing the same thing.
Correct. The Sasquatches may in fact be mirroring some of that in much the same way that, for instance, the nomadic tribes would follow around the buffalo or caribou, pick your favorite large game that they would target for their protein intake. They would follow and mirror kind of the same patterns, and obviously choose paths of least resistance to encounter those herds doing that cycle, and therefore adopt a similar cycle. So it's possible the Sasquatches do the same thing. And we do see somewhat of that trending in report data. So
Makes sense. It's a big old tree. It's fallen over the road. Here's the perfect mud puddle for leaving tracks. And there's a bunch of them. No Sasquatch tracks. Deer. Dogs. So there's a remnant of the road we just came in on. It's not driven on anymore. And one of the reasons is because it's all washed out. There's the road on the other side, and then there's this canyon with the creek in it. Right, we're walking on the road, exploring.
well, yeah, a lot of the hunters out here wear
Gerald called us back.
no boots to hunt.
He found some impressions here.
Yeah. About what, 13, 14 inches right here? Punched right in.
Mine's a foot long.
Yeah. So there's that one.
Oh, I'd say it's probably 14 or 15.
And then up here's another one
It's kind of hard to tell how long. it
right
is.
there. Yeah. Very deep, at least 2 inches deep. And for comparison, the shoulder here, I mean,
Yeah, that's,
I can try a little further out, I guess.
feel it, but it's, right in that spot's the softest spot.
Yeah. But something did go down that way.
So your assessment?
Honestly, just looking at it, there's not enough there to tell anything other than that. It could be, the likelihood is that it's a hunter's boot print, and because it's the exact stride of a human stride from this print to that one. Like, I'll stand next to it here, this foot here, like that's about.
Yeah, they match.
It's not elk. There's no splaying, there's no pointing of hooves forward, like forked down, and there's no, the straddle isn't like what would I expect with an elk, with it to do with its front legs and its back legs going kind of angled downhill here.
Okay. Well, it's in the ballpark. Looks like a Sasquatch, but probably isn't. No way to really tell.
It's just old too, that doesn't help.
Okay, here we are. We're gonna go in and grab a couple trues that we have located in this area, and we're gonna put them in a different location because this spot is hard to get to, largely because of this giant maple tree that has fallen, blocking the road. And the sun's setting. There's a Yeti, my Suzuki Vitara, and here's a giant maple tree blocking the road. So we're gonna grab these trues and pull them out of here. Nathan and Gerald up ahead on the road already. Looking for tracks. How many Sasquatch tracks you guys got located so far?
None, but did find fresh cougar tracks right here. Right there.
Ooh, that's a beauty.
I think you gotta go lower.
Got it
You may have to use your joystick.
right there.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, here we are. This old logging road. And now we have to go down into the ravine to where we have a true located. There's Nathan, and we're going to be following him and hopefully staying on our feet and not taking a tumble. Deer poop. Little teeny footballs. There it is. Do you see it? There it is. Oh, nice. Everything's looking good. Nothing obscuring the lens. Nothing messed with it. That's the view that we're looking at. So we've had it here. This is what, the 6th week?
Yeah.
So we had 2 batches of videos that we've reviewed because we gather them every 2 weeks. And this will be the 6th week. The previous 2 batches were not all that impressive. So there's not as much animal traffic through here as we expected, although we just saw a whole bunch of deer beds and deer beds and their poop, and so they are in here. But maybe they just don't like this zone. But anyway, we have some other areas that we are more excited about and intrigued, and we're going to move these to those locations.
We're also concerned about some road conditions. So
yeah, getting in here is tougher and tougher because of downed trees and a washed out road. So we don't want to get these things stranded and have to put in huge physical efforts to get him out of here.
So we're going to get this guy and get out.
Okay, Nathan and I are out from getting the true. Nathan's carrying the ammo can with the camera and the cables and everything. Gerald is here, he's carrying the battery. All right, here we are for the next true that we're going to pull and relocate. All right, I'll record you doing it, buddy. Oh, it looks good. Front lens is undisturbed.
For the big reveal.
Big reveal.
There she is. Let's get the hand glove out of the mouth. Okay. Shift it a little bit to get my feet underneath. The stump's kind of breaking down, so.
Ah, yeah.
Got it. A little bit of weight there. Oh, there it is.
Let's try to fill in the hole a little bit. Okay, we're good to go.
All right, film me walking off into the sunset.
All right.
Jacqueline's probably doing a good shot.
Here's Nathan walking into the sunset. Go to the light, Nathan. Go to the light.
I see it. I see the light.
He's gonna vanish pretty soon.
Oh, that is an awesome shot. Okay, our turn to head to the light.
Well, if he'll come out behind you, we'll light.
Okay. Some four-wheeling there. Made it. Okay, here we are. We're heading up toward a new temporary deployment for this thermal camera, this True. We are going to just run it overnight while we're camped at this spot one more night. And then tomorrow we're going to move it to a location where it'll sit for at least 2 weeks. But here we are at a camp, a quarry in the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest, and we are the bait basically down in our camp. We'll have a fire, we're going to be cooking, we'll be making noises, music, whatever, and now we're locating a thermal camera up on the slope above our camp. If they come in and look at us, check us out.
There's a possum right in front of me. Holy cow!
Oh, yeah.
There's a possum
There
right in
is,
front of me.
right there.
There's a possum right there.
Go get a video of him.
I'm trying. There he is.
He won't run too fast, probably.
Hi, possum. All right. Nathan's
Usually
taking the camera.
Usually they'll play dead or they'll kind of slink off. Look at him. Oh, he's gonna hiss at me. Look at him. Yeah, he's just hissing.
Stand his ground.
Yeah. They're not very fast.
Yeah.
Try to go around and get a better view of him here.
Oh, the one that you were on? Okay.
He's pretty cute.
And a possum is what I am.
Just trying to get a good view of him here.
Don't push your luck.
They're not that fast.
I think they're more afraid of everybody than anything.
See if we can get a side view of him. He may not let me. I'm not going to harass him too much more here. I just want to get a good view of him. There you go. He's cute. I was zoomed in. I wasn't quite as close as it looked. But
That rock would be a good place, 'cause this trail does.
yeah, he's cool.
You take this trail because there's a bench right up there. You can see the edge of it.
And they move so slow. As you can see,
Yeah.
they're here and I'm approximately 8 feet away and he's just chilling. Well, we'll leave him be and get back to setting up the camera here. Pretty cool.
Yes, it was. That was very cool. All right. Well, there it is. There's the True,
It's gonna be looking down that way.
and we're gonna be looking
toward Geralt there.
Right down there. You see Gerald standing down there? Okay, so we're gonna be aiming that direction. Camp is off here to the right. Down in there. Can't really see it, but that's where our camp is. We're hoping something will come in to inspect and walk through this field of view. All right, buddy.
Hopefully something comes along sneaks up to the edge to look down on our camp is kind of the goal here.
Yeah, we're up here at least 60, 70 feet
Yeah.
elevation so that they can look down into our camp, feel secure about it. Okay, Possum, see you later. Okay, well, if this is visible, Nathan's up there. That's where our next true was located. Looking down here, there's the trail into camp,
It looks like a stump.
Yeah.
and there's the main logging road we're on.
Right, here we are with Nathan. We have no table, but we have the ground.
But we, as opposed to when do we not have the ground?
And there is a little cook stove and pot, and he made some hot water for... Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da.
Breakfast skillet. For dinner.
Breakfast. It's what's for dinner.
That's great.
Night 2, our second night, and there's the campfire. Geralt says it's keeping his feet nice and warm.
Yes, my legs.
There's Geralt's feet. Gerald and Nathan worked hard to
Are they seeing?
get this wood that we're burning. I'm thankful.
Pull the tree down.
Yeah. It's gonna get down to about 30 tonight.
Is that how cold it's supposed to get?
Yes.
Or
The last forecast I saw 2 days ago. Nice campfire we have there. It's quite impressive. And then I busted out a laser toy. And Nathan's lighting up the...
Are you in low light mode?
Yes.
it's like it's crawling when you do that.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. There's the crazy laser light show. If you're a Sasquatch, how could you resist wanting to see that and being mesmerized?
Oh, look at that.
Whoa!
Whoa, that's super cool.
Well, if nothing else, we're entertaining ourselves. More of Nathan playing with the laser light, and you can see the beams of laser light going through the smoke.
They had a green light right there and smoke.
Oh, look at that with the particulate in it.
Sparkles.
That's pretty cool.
Dude, I feel like I'm in a hologram. Look at this. Come out here. Look at this. This is super weird.
Whoa, now it's like a disco floor.
Yeah. Like your depth perception is just gone.
That's pretty cool. You probably can't tell on camera, but we're looking straight down at the laser light bouncing off the snow that we're standing on. There's Nathan's feet. Yeah, get your feet back in there. So, yeah. So that's Nathan, and those are his feet. And you can see he's pointing down, and the laser's bouncing off the snow. We're easily entertained. Okay, here we are, Sunday morning, on our way out to service more trues. Didn't seem like there was any activity last night, but we haven't reviewed the data. We haven't reviewed the thermal or the audio that was recorded overnight. But it's that's a job we'll do during the week after we get home. But here we are,
Anyway, that's how we did it.
sitting in the sun.
We probably could have
We live in Western Washington. In the winter, you don't get much of this, so it's really nice to sit in the sun. And we stopped here at this gas station to load up on supplies. Be heading out to the woods in a minute. Here we are in the Gifford Pinchot National Forest in Washington Cascades. And one of the nice things about Washington's forests are, because of all the rain they get, a lot of the main roads, like this one I'm traveling on now, they're paved, asphalt top on them, and that's nice. A lot fewer potholes. We'll be getting off this paved section pretty soon to get on some of the gravel side roads, and they're plenty full of potholes. But you can see here there's frost on the ground. It's a cold morning. Potholes, just like I told you, on this gravel logging road. There's an abundance of potholes. Here's my fearless co-workers, Geralt and Nathan. We're gonna go deploy this true. And at a place by the river.
A little different this time than we've been doing. We're going to a much larger river quarter, hoping that stuff trying to come down runs into the river and has to go left or right paralleling it. So we're putting the cameras to cover that area. We're trying something new. So.
All right, we got to walk through some reproduction forest. They call it reprod.
Yeah.
What do you say? These are about 10, 15 years old? 10 years old?
10 to 12. So yeah.
So, all right, Nathan's gonna. What, you want to take the battery out and I'll hold the battery?
No, it's fine. We're close enough. It's not that big of a deal.
You want gloves?
No, I got it. I'm gonna hold it like this.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
And I'll lock this up. We got the keys. We're good to go.
It's funny with sunshine and the frost is melted.
Yeah, that is cool. His little baby tree, and you can see right there it's been rubbed on by a buck with its antlers.
Where'd you go?
We gotta work that way. Nathan! Okay.
That way. I guess.
The audience has come to be familiar with the need for us to call out for Nathan because he always plows ahead.
That's quite a trail here. Wow.
Yeah, this is really rough going, Geralt.
Slick.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, those limbs are definitely slick.
Yeah, they are.
Yep.
Woo!
You okay?
Yep.
Oh, that's wet.
All right. I'm going to turn this off. We'll see you guys on the other side.
Be here. Chicken hazard in here just right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like right there, there's a bed.
Yep.
Gotta find it. Okay, down there looks better. I like that down here.
We've gotten through the reprod up to the area next to the river. Nice, gorgeous river down there. I'd like to tell you the name of it, but we're trying to keep our locations as concealed as possible.
But it's pretty cool looking down on it. It's flowing heavy right now. Here we are at a stump where we are deploying one of the trees that we're relocating. Nathan's working on it there, camouflaging it. I'm going to be looking down this corridor. Everything's super frosty in here.
Oh, wow.
You see that?
Yep. Super cool.
We can curve this out to the road.
I think we are.
No, this does a half circle.
Which I think we crossed a couple times.
No, we crossed one channel and then there was another.
But we wouldn't have seen this frosty zone if we hadn't come this way.
All right, we're on our way to the next camera. This is the True 2. And where we've selected this location is based on, it's a predatory travel route. Cougars, coyotes, and other critters use this whole pathway because it's sandwiched by this creek down here. Check this out. Creek's down there. You can see to the other side. And then you've got the road, obviously, here. Kirk up there carrying the battery. Okay, so we're up here from the perspective of the camera, and as you can see here, we're covering the roadbed right here as stuff goes down the road, and then we're also covering down by the creek from here, and then the whole wall on the other side where animals could be walking. So we're covering 3 tiers of pathway. So this is a really good location. We're getting about 100 yards of coverage across all these pathways moving down along the creek. So this is a really good area to catch predators and animals moving. So beautiful. And this morning, and the weather's just been absolutely gorgeous, so we're taking advantage.
All right, as you can tell, we are above Nathan. He is putting in the true to overlook this open clear-cut area. And it's right between a couple creeks. And I'm standing on a stump above him. And we've never had a true in this area before. A lot of reports of Sasquatch encounters have come from this location. I mean, not this exact location, but in this couple square mile area. And so we are giving it a try. Locating a true here. Hoping we get a Sasquatch traveling through these, between these two creeks down into some other wet areas. So this is what we do, and eventually we're going to get a Sasquatch, we believe, otherwise we wouldn't be putting in the effort. They've been caught on thermal video before, on normal video, on security security cameras, so it has happened and it can happen.
And it will happen again.
Okay, this is Nathan's final work. You want to point to the location?
It's right here.
There's a camera in there somewhere. Alright, we finished working on the trues for the day. Now we've come up this logging road and Nathan is going to head up that slope because he has a trail cam up there.
Yep. It's been up there for quite a while now. See that game trail going up?
Oh, that's a nice one. Animals take that up the steep slope. Most likely deer and elk.
Yeah.
Bear, cougar. So he has a trail cam up there. Even though we like to bash trail cams and say that our trues are better, trail cams still have some usefulness.
Yeah, they can tell you what animal populations are moving up and down at what times of the year. For instance, deer and elk, if you have a light year like this one where it doesn't seem to be very cold and have a lot of snow, they might hang out up higher. So we're just trying to learn trends of different animal groups going up and down, and this trail camera is a good cheap addition to figuring that out. So put it out here in October. We'll see what's on it now.
All right, he's gonna climb up there. I'm gonna stay here. We'll see you when you get back.
Yep. I shouldn't be too long, but it's gonna take me a minute to get there. Oh, I got a buck track right here on the. Shouldn't take too long. Probably
Okay.
20 minutes to get in there.
All right.
15 to get in, 15 to get out. I'm just grabbing it. I'll be right there. Right back.
He said he'll be about 15 to 20 minutes. So we will hang out down here with the vehicles. Okay, Nathan and I have come into town. for dinner. Where we're gonna get food? Our favorite place to eat in Morton. Town of Morton. The Buck Snort Pub.
Yeah, that was the year you had the big game against.
No, my junior year.
No, it was soccer. It was just nice. You were at it, it was nice.
That was not myself.
Okay, this is why we like to come to the Buck Snort. There it is. Yeah.
And
Nathan always orders that.
it was a fun
It's good food
day
here.
for them. And they all got to come out.
I love
Look at him, he's happy. And here's
Why
my.
do we need?
There you go.
Why do we need?
That's why we like the Buck Snort.